For everybody who's not familiar, Alvin Kamara is accused of assaulting a man in a Las Vegas like casino nightclub area situation, in which he has been charged with battery resulting in substantial bodily harm. Although he's already posted bail and won't even actually start an initial court hearing until March 8th. Now, look, it's interesting because the police say they have surveillance footage of the incident already and have used it to say Alvin Kamara's initial story they told the police was not true, unsurprisingly. And at this point, I'm just like, TMZ gets a hold of everything. How have they not gotten a hold of the Alvin Kamara reportedly punching a man 8 times before his whole crew stops that dude like a Boondocks episode? Like, I mean, like they said that it was like there was an elevator. Dude tried to get on an elevator. Kamara apparently, they say he puts his hand on the dude's chest and says, "No, you can't get on the elevator." Kamara says that the dude called one of his friends ugly and said that he could whip his ass. And at that point, Kamara says that a fight broke out near him. Near him, the fight broke out, and that he saw the dude running and try to hit him. The police say the surveillance footage instead shows that Kamara steals off on this dude, hits him a couple times, and then his boys start hitting him. And then once he is on the floor, his boys start stomping on him. One of them, they have said, stomped on him at least 16 times, like by himself, not 16 total stomps. One of the individuals, and they're also so like this is pretty heavy, right? I don't know if you see the picture of the dude's face.
I haven't seen it.
Oh my god, the picture of this guy's face is super fucked up. Do you think this impacts him being able to play at the beginning of next season?
I do, just because when they revamped the player conduct rules a couple of years ago, and not a couple of years ago, I think it's like 8 at this point. Um, they kind of made it the standard that anything that's like graded sort of a battery level offense, or if you catch like a charge for battery, that like kind of the baseline is 6 games. And I was listening to Max Kellerman talk about this, and he was saying it can go up or go down based off of the context and everything. But we've seen in the past that like battery charges have been specifically been approached with a baseline of like 6 games, and it can go up or down from there. So I do think he will miss some time to start the season. And going back to the start, I think it happening over Pro Bowl weekend in Vegas, where it's kind of like an NFL event, it may make them come down harder because it's like you're there representing us. And I do think that basically, like, whatever kind of legal stuff he's facing should kind of stay between him and the legal system. And like, unless it impacts his ability to like do his job or like go to work, then having that, the way the policy impacts kind of playing time and everything like that, I think is too universal. We can get into that in an instance, but I don't think every battery charge is the same. And I think kind of like the vagueness of the standard right now as far as the player conduct policy goes means that the league treats these things kind of too universally. Whereas like fighting someone in a hotel elevator is like not good. It is wrong, but it is different than like committing an act of domestic violence, for example. And I feel
Yeah.
like Kamara's like facing, they're talking about him missing half the season essentially, when there are people in the league who have done, I don't know, like it's hard to compare these things, but like it generally accepted like far worse things that have faced less time. So it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know.
Okay, so I will first share this with you. This is the picture of the guy's face after
Oof.
they fucked him. Does that change any of your feelings?
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I'm sorry. Like when I saw the photo, I was like, shit. But like, to be fair, that looks like the face of a guy that got stomped on 16 times, if we could just be perfectly honest. So, by one guy, not like there were other guys involved. So like this is pretty big, right? Alvin Kamara is probably at this point the face of the New Orleans Saints franchise after Drew Brees and Sean Payton right off into the sunset. And they are already looking at a pretty disparate situation starting next year. And Alvin Kamara is possibly not going to be able to be with them. It is important to note that the charge he has is a felony. Well, the charge they are charging him with is a felony, and the prison time to it is 1 to 5 years. Granted, I bet this is probably a situation where money and good lawyers pan out very well for you, and you deal with some probationary style stuff, and you probably pay this man a super bag. But like, what's the point of rocking around with three dudes who are willing to stomp a dude 16 times or more, and you still have to personally put your hands on somebody?
Yeah, that's a like the whole thing. I think if there weren't the alleged surveillance footage, would be that like one of the people that was with him would like take the charge because he's obviously like kind of the breadwinner of the group. I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Um,
Alvin
but
Kamara.
if there's footage, like it's an elevator, so there's probably some sort of security tape, and it shows him like stomping this dude out, then that will not make a lot of sense
It
to me.
doesn't show from what I've read from the police reports and articles so far, is that Kamara hits the dude first, punches him like 8 times. He falls on the floor, and Kamara's three friends then proceed to stomp him while he's on the floor.
Well,
So
how did his face look before he hit the floor? I guess is then like how you judge, Kamara's responsibility in all of this. Because like you were right that that does look like someone who was stomped out. And if I don't know, man. Obviously, I'm biased in this. I hope AK didn't have as much to do with it as it seems right now, and that the surveillance footage. I hope the reason it's not leaked is because it's like in his favor.
thanks for stopping by. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, leave a subscribe so you don't miss any of our content.